The spirituality of cats and when cats die and what happens. So we're going to talk about the spirituality of cats, when cats leave the earth and what happens, and just some inner minglings of how things that you might, if you're looking to get a new cat, and what's your relationship, the grieving process, helping you in the grieving process. That's what I'm here to do. My cat recently passed away, and I've felt an energy shift based on the spiritual teachings that I undergo. I study Kabbalah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, please, in the comment section down below. These are my own associations. These are based on pickings and things and beings that I've been able to channel, and this is something that I personally understand. I could be wrong. I could be right. I don't know. I leave it up to you. Ultimately, your soul is the one who decides. So my cat passed away. Cats are batteries. Cats are energy batteries. You can tell this because they oftentimes, a cat that's spiritual will lay out artwork, spiritual. If you have a cat, you'll notice maybe they'll put their paw on the Bible. Try it. Put the Bible on the bed and see what the cat does. Put spiritual objects, tools, if you believe in the Quran, put the Quran, see what happens. If you believe in the Zohar, put the Zohar down. So see what happens. And you'll notice that the cat tends to be gravitated towards those spiritual tools. Why is that? Because cats are spiritual beings. Domesticated cats are, well, all animals are spiritual beings. Everything is a spiritual being. But cats have this interesting kind of unlocking mechanism because they are a battery and receptive of energy. They receive energy. Energy is channeled into it. So there's a certain level of growth that a human can make. They're kind of hindered because that energy is being taken by the cat. Now, but at the end of the day, when the cat passes, the cat goes into the spiritual world and there's a deeper connection. So it's almost like a spiritual bank that the person is putting into with the relationship that they're having with the cat. And then when the cat passes, there's a stronger bond between the individual and the cats. And some people have even said that cats actually go on when a person's supposed to leave the earth. Instead of the person, the cat will go ahead and take the person's place because in order to receive that certain level of elevation and growth. Do cats reincarnate? It is my personal belief that they do. It is my personal belief that when you're looking into the cat's eyes, and depends on the elevation of the growth that you have, you already know where you're coming from, and you can have that dialogue with your cat or with your dog, and know that you're into that spiritual elevation and you're going higher than when you've been before. So, I noticed various different changes in my mood and who I am because for the longest time I was allergic to my baby. I was, and I just kind of suck it up. And it gave me this nasally sound. And now that she's gone, my nasal passages are more open. I am more awake. I am more alert. I feel more energized because my energy is not being taken by my cat. And it's the reality of the story. The reality of the story that I've come to understand. Now, some people say, well, my cat just passed. Should I get another cat? From a personal standpoint, I personally would not for myself because I'm grieved. For me, this was my child. So it's very painful. It's very painful to even consider, to even imagine getting another pet at all, any kind of pet at the moment. I just, I'm not at that level point in time in my life while making this video. But at the same time, I do understand this level of spiritual growth and the level of spiritual elevation that a person can make and where they're at in their north. Because these cats are souls that need help and they need homes, and they're there. And the light of the Creator is showing them to you. Because when you see the commercial, Sarah McLachlan comes, in the eyes of the angel. The light of the Creator is showing it to you because that suffering is there and you're there to do something about it. Now, what are you there to do about it? That comes into a different understanding and a different level of elevation. So, an interpersonal communication between you and your soul. When your cat dies, what I'm doing is I'm saving her ashes. I'm saving her ashes, and because my cat was an indoor cat, it's going to inspire me to go to places where my cat I think would want to go, and I'm going to spread her ashes there. And because that energy is there's still a residue. People utilize ashes for magic, various different means, and you can utilize that as a mean of however you want to connect, whatever you want to do. I have a little piece of her hair, I have some of her nail clippings, whatever. And I do this in order to just keep a memory and an energy of her. But I don't plan to keep them for long because I understand that it needs to be elevated. So it's for me, it's almost like that tethering of the understanding of the spiritual world that I'm having and letting go a piece at a time. Because if you, and that's just my relationship with the light of the creator, not necessarily, it's, you're still creating that bond, but you're saying, goodbye. You're saying goodbye a little piece at a time and in an elevated way. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I think that, when your pet passes, it's really a horrible, horrible thing and it changes you as a person. I think that when a dog passes, it's a completely different thing than when a cat passes because when a dog passes, the dog is a channel of energy. They are, even though cats are receivers. Dogs are the ones who share energy. They transfer energy. So they're more likely. So there's an energy that is being removed from individuals that they're no longer receiving. So that is a different kind of pain. And then how is that energy, resurface in order to be able to be channeled into a different area? Ultimately, it's about just being progressive, just making that choice, just saying, if I need to get rid of my cat's things in order to feel better and safer and within my own, I'm just safer in the sense of letting go of my fears of where my cat would be and trusting the light of the creator that the cat's soul will be in a great place, then kudos to that. But that's your interpersonal relationship with the passing of your cat. What do you think? What do you do? What do what are your measures? My personal, what I don't recommend at all is taxidermy. I really don't. I don't recommend taxidermy because that's so anything that because you're still imprinting the energy of that. It's almost like an imprisonment. It's still a partial imprisonment of the soul. Burials, all of those things are perfect. Burning the body and having the ashes spread. All of those things are nice and generous. But when you're having, there's also a psychological element that is being built with the particular element that is there, and it's still drawing you into that world that perhaps you need to live. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? The grieving process is all yours. It's what you believe in your soul is right for you. Thank you, and I wish you a wonderful year.